All right, folks. Hopefully it's not snowing right now. So, yeah, we're back. We're doing Busker Broadcast. What's your name again? Deanna. All right. We are talking about Buskers Fest in Abingdon. And would you like to tell folks how they can get a hold of you and apply if they're
absolutely.
a Buskers?
You can check out more information, including everything about if you want to submit an application if you're a performer, and that's mainstreetbuskerfest.com. So it's pretty straightforward. And then you could call at 276-676-2282.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, are there any things, like, as far as applying? I mean, are you going to be doing background checks or anything weird like that?
No, honestly, really, it's just, I will say, and I won't tell you who or what the performer was, but there was one really strange act that I thought was a little creepy, and that's the only one out of all the applications I haven't returned a confirmation email. It had to do with some ventriloquism, but it was not good. So I will say that. But otherwise, no. I mean, I think that's kind of the point of busking, right? Is if it's not your jam, move on, and you've got another performer to hang out and listen to. So that's sort of how we're treating it as well. Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's about having an open mind and wandering around and just letting things into your brain.
Sure.
You know, learning a little bit. Because, you know, like I said before, if it weren't for street performance, there are a lot of things that just wouldn't exist anymore. Almost like
age old. Yeah.
Where would you go to see a human statue if there wasn't street performance?
I can't imagine a place. Yeah.
There's a good example. Here in Asheville, recently, we have had more human statues than we have ever had in the history of Asheville within the last month.
Well, I hope some of them are listening right now, because I have yet to get a human statue to apply for the Busker Fest, and I would really love to have a human statue.
Well, I'm going to poke at our leading man.
All right.
I went to breakfast with him this morning, and I did mention it to him, and I will poke at him some more.
All right. I mean, I think that, and you know, we saw him walking around today. He wasn't statuing. He had 4 legs, sort of walking around, and the amount of people, even from across the street, who were so amazed and like videoing and taking, and you know that it's so much fun. People love it. You know, they just get so excited about it. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely the atmosphere we're going for. Yeah,
he's got a handful of different costumes, and he's extremely entertaining to listen to and talk to, because it's like he can visualize something and see something, and he just makes it happen. And
that's good.
And so it's really refreshing. That part of his personality is super refreshing.
And it's creativity. You know, that kind of creativity is always, even if you think it's maybe a little bit of a shtick or it's not something that you really love, the creativity is really inspiring to see, I think. Right. And I think that's kind of the point of street performance. And like you said, it's age old. It's been going on before there were music venues and breweries and coffee bars that had people playing at it. That's where people performed before, and so we'd like to keep it happening.
Yep. Well, in Asheville, we get real busy here, sure. and there are a lot of performers. Some are beginners, some have been doing it for a while, and some are just straight up professional.
Right.
And it's kind of an interesting mix of folks, you know, to watch everybody interact with each other. But even more so, the thing that I enjoy the most is when you have an extremely experienced band, and then they invite the guy that doesn't really know how to play his instrument to play with them.
Right.
That's my favorite part.
Well, it's community, right? That's when you get that part, yeah. That's super great.
Right. You know, and so here in Asheville, we have the Buskers Collective, and we attempt to get out the message across about community and talking to each other. We do this 2-hour swap where we spend only about 2 hours at a spot, give or take. If somebody's waiting, if no one's waiting on the spot, just play.
Right, sure.
and we attempt to keep our volume down. We do have amplifiers. Oh, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like here amplifiers are legal.
Mm-hmm.
What about amplified buskers for your Busker Fest?
In Abingdon, in general, Abingdon code has it that you need a sound permit if you're going to amplify sound at all, even if it's just someone talking on a microphone. We will have a sound permit for the festival to cover all the things, but mostly for our, like I mentioned, the 3 anchor stages. Those ones will be a little bit bigger and have room, and so the crowd might not be able to hear someone quite as well. So if someone has a microphone or something, those will be kind of the stages where we put those kinds of acts. The rest of them on the sidewalk, we're just really happy to have them acoustic because, like I said, we've got like 25, and so I know you said in Nashville here you've got like 40 feet away from each other, so that your music isn't
right.
crowding each other.
Generally, we're usually actually further away than that.
Sure,
I mean,
exactly.
The band I play with is pretty loud. I mean, we're acoustic, but we're pretty loud.
You get loud, yeah.
Yeah, and anytime that you get 3, 4, 5 acoustic folks, you're gonna be loud.
Sure.
But I think here a lot of the issues with the amplifiers is just when folks can't watch the volume knob and they
Right.
have them up too loud, or they don't realize that their amplifier is pointing directly at sometimes folks just don't realize.
Sure. Oh, of course, yeah.
So it's just about talking to each other.
Absolutely. And I used to manage our farmers market in Abingdon, and it's different but similar, right? Because you've got a lot of vendors, and some of them have the same product that they're trying to sell. When
Right.
buskers are, you're selling your performance to a certain extent. And I would always call it coopetition, right? Because the more tomatoes someone has to pick from, the more likely they're going to keep coming because they know the quality of tomatoes they can get at a place. Yeah. And so, yes, you're sort of competing against each other, but not really, because all of you are there is why crowd is drawn.
Everybody keeps coming back.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. No, you're exactly right. And for me, it seems like the better the talent out,
Mm-hmm.
the better it is for me financially.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't feel like competition to me.
Right.
So, all right. Well, we're reaching towards the end of our little moment here.
Well, I really appreciate you having me on and let me talk about it, and it's been really great to hear what kind of things you guys are doing here in Asheville, because in a lot of ways Abingdon is a lot smaller, but we've got people who come over here all the time and vice versa, and we've got a lot of reciprocity, so thanks for having me on.
Well, I've been listening and thinking that maybe I should go up there and visit y'all before your thing, because I might need a little bit of talking to about getting through this Busker Fest of our own.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd love
Maybe it might be a good idea to look over somebody's shoulder a moment.
Come on. Shadow me around all day. I'd be happy.
All right. Well, okay, folks, you're listening to Busker Broadcast, and I am the Spoon Lady, and you can find us at Busker Broadcast on Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram. And if you're interested in the Asheville Buskers Collective, our meetings are Tuesday, 10:30 in the morning at New Mountain, Asheville, downtown. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, you can also find the Asheville Buskers Collective on Facebook or ashevillebuskerscollective@gmail.com. What other announcements did I have? I feel like I'm missing something here. I think that's about it. Tune in tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We're going to have some buskin' tunes, and hopefully y'all buskers will be filling out your applications for Buskers Fest in Abingdon. And y'all can get out there and represent Asheville for us, and
we love it.
And smile and click your heels and have a great time.
Exactly.
And walk around, and if you're a busker, that does not keep you from walking around tipping the other buskers either.
Absolutely.
So, folks. You're listening to WPVM 103.7 FM in Asheville. You can listen online at WPVMFM.org. and have a great dinner. And if you're out and about, I'm going to go and play at Pack Square this evening here in an hour or two. So I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Sure.